Welcome to New Gameplay today. I am Kyle Hilliard here with Marcus Stewart. What's up, Marcus?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm doing really well because I got to play a bunch of Gunbrella.
Ooh, I'm jealous.
Which is what you're seeing right here. A game that I don't know how you felt about it, but just sort of the basic premise of it and the idea of the name was enough to make me be like, ooh, I want to take a look at this thing. This looks interesting. You know?
Yeah, same thing. Like the premise is weird, but like I love these like side-scrolling action games, especially of the Metroid-invasion or Vania persuasion. Speak to me. And also the developer is the same team that did Gato Roboto, which is a game that I enjoyed from, God, what was that, like 4 years ago now at least?
2019 or something like that?
Yeah. For those that don't know, it's the Metroid game you played as a cat.
Yeah. Which you can kind of tell if that makes sense. Like it doesn't look the same, and this doesn't really have Metroid energy and quite the same, right? I'm almost hesitant to even call it a Metroidvania. It's more just like a really cool action game.
Right. Like it doesn't have like a big sprawling map that you're using abilities to unlock new parts of, because that's pretty much...
Yeah, not that I've seen, which is like and unless I'm just like missing it, I've played like the first 2 hours or so, give or take, and it seems like, I think one of the charming things about the game is you have quite a bit of abilities from the start because of the gun-umbrella combination. Like, you can counter things, you have this cool shotgun, you know, it lets you fly. You know what I mean? Like, I can get to any section of the map from the starting moment because you can jump on walls and dash through the air and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is a weird game. What's the deal with the story? I'm curious. Why do you have a Gunbrella?
Well, that's this right here. Actually, this is kind of, I wanted to show that little conversation with those guys because they have this conversation with like important, pertinent information, and if you go interrupt them, they yell at you and they're like, "Oh, now we need to restart our conversation," which I just thought was like a very funny video game joke. But the game is like quite dark. And actually, it starts off with your like wife getting murdered, and it seems like your child is missing. And you go to this town, and you have a gun umbrella, and everyone you show it to is kind of like, "Oh, that's weird. I'm not really a weapons person myself, but that's a strange thing you have there, right?"
Right.
And now, at this point in the game, the mayor of this town has been kidnapped by a cult. The cult is called Cult 45. Right, and I'm like trying to get into their hideout to save the mayor so he can like help me get to like another town. It like the character doesn't speak, so I'm not really totally clear on his goal at this point in the story.
I mean, he wants to save the mayor. He has a fondness for local government, so
I guess, yeah, support your local government. But the thing that has struck me, and we talked a little bit about this on the Game Informer show, is I was like, oh, Gunbrella, that's a funny pun. It must be like a funny, silly game. But it's like, it's quite violent, and the soundtrack even in some cases reminded me of Hotline Miami. Which I did not expect. And it also has like the sort of speed of attack of Hotline Miami too, because Hotline Miami is a game that has this really sort of like soundtrack that is just like really imposing and fills you with dread, and then you enter these combat scenarios where you're just like really getting violent very fast. And though this does not sort of have the same speed of Hotline Miami, it does remind me of it because you have a really short range shotgun, and you are successful by getting in close to people and killing them quickly. If that makes sense,
Yeah, for sure. How does the game feel? Because even just watching you, I get vibes of like a almost like a bit of a Celeste feel. I don't know, maybe it's because you're such a like small character, like his design and the way you're sort of like bouncing off walls and sort of like it's like you're doing some wall dashes. Like, does it feel pretty good as just a platformer?
It feels great as a platformer. Yeah, and I think Celeste is a good point of comparison for just like how smooth it feels.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, like I really like it. Like and using the umbrella to sort of you can see I'm doing sort of like like mid-air dashes and up and all different angles and stuff like that. And you can use the right control stick to aim your gun as well, but I didn't find myself doing that a lot. Maybe later in the game you do it more, but like really I felt like I had fun and success by dashing into people with my umbrella. Oh, I think I got set on fire here. Oops. And just hitting them with the shotgun, you know, and that's super fun. Like not worrying too much about aiming, just being close.
I also just realized looking at the character model, he kind of looks like the Spelunky guy if you joined a gang, like a mob.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Got the little red nose and everything. What else can you use the umbrella for that you've seen? Like you mentioned that you can use it to sort of like float. Can you use it to
here
like...
I'll...
Oh, okay, I was going to say, like, it seems like you'd be able to use it as a shield, right? And
yes, yeah, so you can use it as a shield, and also if you time it correctly, if you like pull up your umbrella at the last second, you know, that nice counter window, you bounce bullets and attacks back at people. And that's all on the same button. Like dashing with the umbrella in the air and opening it as a shield is the same button. So like your dodge button and your counter button and your block button are like all the same. And it just makes everything feel really smooth. And it is really satisfying when you're sort of in the heat of the moment, when you almost accidentally counter something just by tapping the right bumper, like in the middle of the air.
Okay.
Right?
Was that that room that you just left where you took a nap? Is that like a save room?
Yeah, so like there are benches where you can save, and then occasionally, I've only seen the one, there's like a bedroom, and when you are in the bedroom, you actually get extra hearts, I think. We'll see after I'm done talking to them.
Oh, like full,
yes,
okay, buffs, kind of like an overshield.
Yes, yeah. And then you have items that you can use to sort of, you have items to heal your 4 red hearts, and then you have items to add the blue hearts.
Okay.
As well. And now, like, so in the story of the game, I'm infiltrating this cult to save the mayor, but I'm not. The mayor can like open a door for me to get to the next town over, which is my goal. So it's not even really that my guy is like, oh, I gotta save the mayor. I don't think he does have take an interest in local government.
Yeah, like he's just a stepping stone to like his true. What is his overarching goal actually? Like, what is he? Do you know, or is that clear?
Not at this point. I mean, I know there's some sort of revenge issue maybe, or he just wants to find out. Someone.
Yeah, it's like, was his wife murdered?
His wife was murdered. Like, that's the opening of the game.
Okay, so that he's gonna get some payback.
Yeah, or something. Yeah.
Okay.
But he doesn't speak. So, and it is very like you get an opening cutscene showing that backstory, and then it's like you're in this town all of a sudden with your Gunbrella, and it's like really quick, really, it gets you umbrella-ing with your gun very quickly, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah, I've been enamored with this game since it was announced because of like the silliness of the name and the premise, but also just the gameplay trailers, looking how smooth it is, and watching this now, like I'm finding points where I'm like zoning out, because you ever watch something that looks so good and it is so up your alley that you're almost like imagining yourself playing it, of like, oh, I know how I would. The way you're jumping around is either like, oh, I would do that too, or I might do maybe this part a little differently, and I kind of want to try it and see how it feels. I like games like this are so like up my alley that this is exciting to watch. I love this stuff. Like, what is that? It's like a gator?
Yeah, some kind of gator. They take 2 shots, which the gorehounds is what they're.
Like in real life, as a Floridian, it takes 2 shots to put a gator down.
Oh, is that right? Oh, yeah, so they're accurate here. And then you also, again, this is just playing the first. Like I played up through the first boss, maybe like 2 or 3, maybe 2 hours, maybe not even that much. But this is like a little puzzle here, which is like I read the book that was like, hey, interact with these bookcases in this order. Hit the rat bookcase. Hit the cat bookcase, then the crow bookcase. So I don't know if that's like going to be a big part of the game, or if that's just like occasionally. This is like little,
puzzle solving
minor puzzle. Yeah, just like tiny. That feels more like a Gato Roboto kind of sequence,
Yeah. Oh, is that the mayor?
No, we spoke to the mayor at the beginning. He gave me gave me a key to get into the place, but didn't give me a key to his prison door. So I'm trying to get I'm exploring the cult to maybe eventually disband the cult,
Yeah. Did he try just asking them if they could disband?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't talk. That's the problem.
Oh yeah. This turns out this could have been solved very easily with less lives taken if he had just opened his mouth. Oh, and that frog too. The frog's part of the gang, I guess too.
But yeah, you can see the sort of like the blood spattering. Not that I'm like a fan of, you know, hyper-violence video games or anything, but like I was surprised to see that. I was like, for some reason, I just didn't think this would be a game of like, you know, body parts like smattering against the wall and leaving streaks of blood. I don't know. Maybe I should have. I don't know. Like the pun of the name made me think it's like, oh, this is kind of lighthearted. But it's like, no, it's not.
I like what you did there, by the way, by using the little the zip line.
Yes, yeah. You hold up your umbrella, you go through the zip line, and it like flings you. You move very quickly. It all just feels very smooth.
Yeah, like it looks smooth. Again, it made my tingles go like, ooh, I like the way that looked.
And I think I get, like, we showed it a little bit, but I counter this turret, which is really the only way to take those out.
Yeah,
and then you can
looks
collect
satisfying though. Just something like that, yeah.
Which is like one of those things that's like I need to get better at with practice, but like this one I can probably counter as well, I imagine, but I just decided to take it head on.
Well, speaking of practice, do you find this like as a hard game? Like, do you think this is being positioned as like, oh, this is a challenging game, like one of these, or?
I wonder. I don't know. It seemed okay so far. The boss, which we'll jump to in a little bit, I struggled with, and it took me a few tries, but it was like the amount of tries that I liked, if that makes sense, where it was like, you know, I wasn't getting so annoyed that I was like, I'm never going to be able to beat this, but it was more like by the second or third try, I had gotten the boss's health down pretty low. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like I was making progress each attempt.
Like, it felt manageable. Like, I didn't know if this was one of those, like, old school side-scrollers where, like, a high difficulty is sort of, like, a feature of the game. You know what I mean? Like, a selling point. Yeah.
I don't know yet. It's not, like, easy, right? It's not, like, it's definitely above, you know, the average platformer, I would say.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't seem like it's going to get crazy, but maybe it could. I don't know. I don't want to make any assumptions.
Like, it seems like it has potential to do some pretty wild, like, sequences, or, like, some demanding, like, you need to really be on your point platforming while also, like, gunning things while you're platforming. Like look at this.
Yeah, this is the other... Oh, I messed this up. But that's the other thing I wanted to show is that you can float with your umbrella. So, you know, that wasn't the most... the cleanest way to do that sequence.
You're just showing people what not to do. It's instructional.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, that gives you kind of a basic idea of like the core. You know, you have the gun, you have the umbrella that you can use to block and dash and float and all kinds of things, and it's all like just a couple buttons. It's really not very complicated at all. But Marcus, I figure now would be a good time to kind of jump ahead to the boss, actually, if you want to check that out.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Marcus, this is I actually wasn't much further from where I left off, where we were playing earlier, but this is the boss of the level. And there's these two little guys that sort of preempt the boss. And I got a nice little counter there. And I have my shotgun, which is infinite. And then I do also have like a couple of machine gun bullets and a couple of grenades that I found. And I think there are merchants, I believe I can buy them from too as well.
Okay, you're fighting some sort of like evil meatball? Is that what we're gonna call that?
Yeah, that's right. But this is another one of those instances like playing this where I was like, this is just so much darker and weirder than I expected this game to be, that I'm fighting this sort of bloody mess of a eyeball creature that, by the way, they were like sacrificing people to.
Right. It's
like that's what they were planning to do with the mayor.
That was like the Caco demon from Doom.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, look at him.
Or what's that other Devolver game where that was kind of a Metroid game where you're this giant...
Carrion?
Carrion, yeah, that was cool. I like that game.
Yeah, a lot of red and blood in that game.
Yeah.
But you're going to give this guy the business right now, right? This is it.
Yeah.
All right.
I mostly just stick with the shotgun, I think, just because I like it so much. I didn't want to waste my other ammo. I'm eating an apple there to get my get a heart in there.
Could the umbrella block his attacks or no?
It can, yeah. He can bounce off the umbrella, and in some not bosses, but in some enemies, I found that actually serves as like what's the video game term, Marcus? You know what I'm trying to say, where it like makes them like stuns them, right? There's like a specific term
kind
for
of.
it that.
You get it. Yeah, I mean, stun them works.
Yeah, I guess stun is the right term. Where this guy, I missed with the grenade there, which is too bad because that would have taken on a lot.
Yeah,
of
does that explode in contact?
What'd you say?
Oh, does it explode in contact, the grenade?
Or
would you have to line it up?
If you hit the enemy, it does.
Okay.
If you don't, it just bounces on the floor and then blows up eventually.
Okay, I mean, I prefer
see,
that. Like, it's obviously easier than like, I hope he lands here.
Yeah, it's embarrassing that this is probably it was like my third or fourth try that we're watching here, and it's embarrassing that it was on my fourth successful try was the time that I missed both of my grenades. So they're just totally wasted.
It's just misdirection. You know, you're just trying to
Yeah.
trick him. Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, the boss was tough, but like I was saying, I'm not doing much of it, but you can't if he's like sprinting at you, the boss, you can use your umbrella to like counter and shield against it.
Yeah,
But I was more just like trying to shoot it when it had its openings.
Right. I mean, this is impressive. You've been hanging on to that last heart for a while. This is pretty tense.
Right, I'm out of apples. I got one heart.
Yeah. It's like, what's gonna happen here? Who's gonna give first?
Let's see.
Get that.
I'll let you. I'm not gonna cut it off before I am successful.
No, but
Yeah, it was kind of weird. You have to like shoot it a couple times to sort of open it up, and then it will take damage if that makes sense.
Right.
Like not every time I shot it was it taking damage there.
You're so close.
And this is unless the final release. This is like a preview build that we're playing. Unless which you know games will change sometimes between like versions that we play and versions that come out later. I believe that's the first true boss of the game, as near as I can tell. But like I said,
Nice.
don't hold me to that when the game releases, because maybe there is other bosses, or maybe there's it'll have a different sort of cadence.
Yeah, great
Get my hearts
showing
back
there,
at the
though.
bench. Oh, thank you. It's okay. I could have made it cleaner. I could have done better. And then this is like another example of this game just like surprising me with its darkness, where I'm able to let this woman out after beating the boss, and then these things, I don't know what these are, but they're just these like horrifying multi-eyeballed things are coming after me, and it just
After all
slaughters.
of
I don't know. We looked at Eternites, Marcus, and that was another game where just like a NPC character just got slaughtered in front of
that. Dang,
me.
what was her,
that I
what was her
wasn't
last
expecting.
words there? Or thank you for saving me, and then that.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, then I'm making my way back, the way I came, but with these things chasing me that don't seem to die. Like I can shoot them and they go away for a couple seconds.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if it was
it's
just the
kinda bad.
same singular one or if it was different ones, but
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, now I wonder if that's how. Maybe it's just this level, or like how every level ends, like having to run from these guys or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is nice if like they're gonna make you backtrack, right? Like
Mix it
to
up.
have like here you got to do something different, a little different to get out of here, which is kind of cool. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's my big takeaways for a Gunbrella. Where like feels great, love the way it feels. Surprised by the tone, was not expecting this for the tone. But I do like it. I like this sort of eerie darkness and creepiness with like some humor here and there with like NPC characters outside of combat. But yeah, that's Gunbrella. It's coming to PC and Switch, but there is no release date yet. They just kind of have 2023 as the release, so it should be this year. But yeah, I like what I played. I was impressed.
Yeah, I like what I see. I'm even more excited to get my hands on this.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for taking a look, Marcus. I appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for having me.